Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Today we're going to check out the Guardians of Evil 6-inch Black Series 4-pack of figures. This is a shared exclusive between GameStop and Barnes & Noble. So let's head to that table and check them out. First up, we'll look at the packaging, and of course this isn't really anything we haven't seen before. Entertainment Earth had their Imperial Forces 4-pack that came out a few years back. But I will say one difference here is that this packaging is a lot thinner. This is very much like what you get on the shelves for the Black Series line, where that pack that came from Entertainment Earth was a bit of a thin cardboard, so it was much more sturdier than this packaging. So, you know, just something to keep in mind on this as you're going to display it on your shelf or something. It's not as sturdy as that previous 4-pack, but otherwise this does look nice. And the figures included with this set are the Senate Guard as seen in episodes 1 and 2. You got the Imperial Royal Guard, which of course was Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith. Emperor Shadow Guard from the Force Unleashed, and you know, maybe some expanded universe stuff. I'm not too sure on that. And then we got the Elite Praetorian Guard, which will be seen in the upcoming Last Jedi movie. On the side of the packaging, you just got the guard kind of laid in there, the text. Other side here, you got each of the names laid out. And then flipping over to the back side, it's essentially 4 boxes lined up here. You got the brief description about the Senate Guard, followed by a description of the Royal Guard, and then the Shadow Guard, and then the Elite Praetorian Guard. And out of the packaging, first up, we'll take a look at the Senate Guard. This is, of course, the blue version, and I think it's just from episode 3. I think in episode 2 and 1, he still had his face showing through instead of that black visor. So now that we got this figure, definitely some opportunity there to go back and do the other versions of it, hopefully. But head to toe, this figure's looking pretty good. I love the blue on it. Very nice looking. Nice sculpting in the helmet area. And, you know, I mean, there's not too much to talk about paint application-wise there. It's just blue helmet, black visor. So things are looking good, though. And that cloth cape does sit very nicely on the figure, as it does with the rest of them. So things are looking pretty good there. Now get that figure off the turntable to show off the rest of this. Help keep that cape out of the way. But, you know, he's fully armored underneath. Got some armor on the shoulder area here. And, of course, through the chest, waist area. And then down through the boots, in the front of the boots here. Kneecap and stuff. And then nice painting underneath for his undersuit. Backside, much of the same. Little back piece, butt piece and stuff. So, lots of good sculpting underneath the cape as well. So, even though you're not really going to see much of it, things are looking pretty good there. And actually for this, we're just going to keep them off the turntable as well. It makes it a little easier this way. But, you know, helmet sculpting's looking good. This is a straight repack from the previous release that we just had. I don't have that one yet, so it's nice. I got this one in my collection now. But great red robes. I like the color of the underneath suit here. And same as the blue Senate Guard, he is molded in red this time, though, underneath. So no differences there. I didn't point out, he's got a gun here, a little holster off to the side. And blue Senate Guard has that as well. So things are looking pretty good on this figure. And then we'll move on to the Shadow Guard. Of course, I think, obviously from the Force Unleashed game, I don't know if he was seen anywhere else. But basically, he's just the inverse of this guy. But I will say that I thought the helmet, or rather the visor, should be a little more red than what we're getting. At least I thought the 3 3/4 inch version had a lot more red. There's a red tint to this, probably not showing up too well on camera, but it is there. Just would have liked to see more red. Otherwise, you know, black robes are looking good. And here too, underneath, he is got the same body armor and sculpting underneath. Just all black this time around, and he does have an included blaster. And now we'll slide back to the turntable to take a look at the Elite Praetorian Guard. This is a great looking figure. You got a mix of the regular plastic and some soft goods for the cape. Bottom robe rather, not cape, sorry. And this particular version of the guard does have that big visor helmet thing on top of his head. For what sculpting there is on the figure, it's all looking pretty good. You know, nice angular pieces down through the arm area. A little bit of detailing through the chest area. And in that leg area, of course, like I said, you got the soft good for the bottom part of the robes. You see a little bit of black on that underbody suit. And then some more red armor covering the kneecap and some nice sculpting on the boots as well. So things I think are looking pretty good for this figure too. As for the articulation, since the Senate Guard, Shadow Guard, and the Emperor's Guard here are all the same body, we'll just go through this red version here. But no head movement, that's locked into place. Underneath for the arms, they come up at a decent rate. Not totally straight out, but pretty close. And then, of course, they do rotate around at that elbow area. You get your pivoting at the top of the elbow joint, and then it does bend forward and back. At the waist area, pivots just underneath this chest piece here. So pretty good there, and you do get a little bit of crunching. As for the legs, of course, both come out, and this holster piece here is pretty soft, so it gets out of the way. But you're able to split the legs out so far, bring them out forward, and a little bit back. Kind of that squared off butt blocks things off a little bit there. Pivoting at the top of the thigh, or rotation at the top of the thigh, and then at the knee joint, double of course, so you're able to get a pretty good bend out of that. And then for the foot, no problem, forward and back, and then of course it does rotate around there. As for the Praetorian Guard, you do get a great range of movement in the head area. It's on a ball joint for the head, and then that neck does swivel forward. So lots of movement there. The shoulder area, surprisingly, these armor pieces are on a little ball joint. So when you raise that arm up, it does not hinder any movement, moves along right with it. So that's really nice to see there. And then through the elbow area, there's a soft rubber piece right here at the elbow joint for both arms. And that's going to allow you to get a decent amount of movement through there. It's just going to bend right along with it and keep that look going. Wrist area, they do swivel. And this right hand does go side to side. And left hand here, let's see. That's an up and down movement. Just a little bit in through there though. Waist area, that's up through here. So you get good twisting and a little bit of crunching in there as well. And then at the leg area, of course, he's able to do the splits. Bring that leg forward and back just a little bit. And then at the kneecap, double jointed, of course. So pretty good range. A little tight there. There we go. Good range of bend there. And then at the foot, forward and back, no problem. And a little bit of rotation around there. As far as accessories go, the blue Senate Guard does come with his blaster rifle with the strap on it here. Nice silver and black painting to it. And you got a decent amount of detailing in there for that as well. And you can slide that over his shoulder and it'll sit on pretty nicely. And the Emperor's Guard does come with his force pike. Not a whole lot of detailing to it, and there doesn't really need to be. It's just a staff really. But some black painting down around the bottom area here. And you get a little bit of jagged edges at the top here molded in. And here too, you can get it into his hand and still get that kind of iconic pose out of the Royal Guard with that force pike. And then the Shadow Guard does have his lightsaber pike. Not a lot going on here. It's all black down through the hilt area, or staff, however you would want to call it. And then of course you got the red blade at the top. Mine's a little warped out of the packaging. But you do got a little bit of detailing going on through there. Not too much. And if you want, that blade just snaps right out. And no problem with him, of course, holding this in his hand. And each of these 3 Senate Guards does come with a small blaster that I mentioned earlier. It does fit nicely in each of their left hand. There's kind of a split between the 4 fingers for that little handle to go right into. So the figures do hold it quite nicely. A little bit of detailing in the sculpt, but otherwise no special paint application. But it is what it is. You know, it's a nice little gun. And this version of the Praetorian Guard does come with a double blade. You just snap the 2 ends together, and it's got a little shape in there so you can get it in the right way. A little bit of detailing in the sculpt throughout the edge of the blade, down to the handle and stuff. But otherwise, it's just red plastic with some silver painting, but it's looking pretty good. So overall, this really is a great set of figures. And for 90 bucks, at least at GameStop, it's a pretty great price, too. You know, it's just around, what, 22, 23 bucks a figure. Definitely a great army building set if you're someone out there who wants multiples of these figures, because there were a lot of them in the universe, or we assume at least for the Praetorian Guard. There's probably quite a few of them as well. And so that wraps up this look at the Guardians of Evil 4-pack. I'd love to know your thoughts on this set in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.